Yeah. Now we now look at Liverpool. That actually they played Forest at the weekend at home, and in fairness, the Forest were down the bottom two. They actually put up them, but Liverpool got the win. They have 2 wins in a row. Got now. I presume they won't make the top four. Well, they're 9 points behind. I can't see them making the top four, but they'll be definitely trying to make fifth place anyway. They're only 3 points behind. Spurs are probably going to fall away. Villa had a draw after 5 wins in a row. So
Yeah.
Liverpool's target now will be to finish at least fifth. And maybe if Newcastle or Manchester United have a wobble, but Liverpool, they've won the last 2 games. They'll nearly have to win every game now to try and make up to fifth anyway. And maybe definitely the fourth if they have any chance.
Well, Paul, and the trouble with Liverpool is they are 9 points behind Manchester United and Newcastle, and they have one game played more than Manchester United.
The same as Newcastle.
The same as Newcastle. So
yeah.
it's a very big, it's a long shot now. I think Liverpool fans will be crossing out is those couple of draws ahead, and that loss in the form, because I don't know, Liverpool. Now a lot more would have been said about Liverpool if it wasn't for my own club's Chelsea's minus this season.
Yeah.
But the thing that Liverpool fans have been crying out for is they knew to freshen up their midfield, because Fabinho's had, any Liverpool fan will tell you, he's had a shock of a season.
Yeah.
Henderson isn't as good as he was. I think Salah still has been chipping in with a good few goals, but Farmerson hasn't been his best either. They got Luis Diaz back there against Leeds. He came on as a sub, so he's been out injured. Jota's starting to get a few goals now as well. But whatever you like to say it, it's been very disappointing season for Liverpool. But I think they would hate to be in seventh place, because that's the Conference League, and I don't think Liverpool really want to be in that. So they'll try.
No, that's a safe statement, no, anyway. I definitely do not want that. You can't go too far wrong with
that. I, as a Chelsea fan, rather finish 11th and 7th now, to be honest, and that's because of the Conference League.
Yeah.
Look, no disrespect, it'd be brilliant. Like West Ham are flying us in that competition, but for Liverpool, it's sort of beneath them, really. They want to get into the Europa League at least. So I think they'd be going all out for at least getting into Europe, 5th or 6th place.
Yeah.
But I think Liverpool can definitely catch Tottenham. They became less played, and they're 3 points behind them. So I think Liverpool will go for 5th place if they can get and maybe have an outside chance of 4th, but they're probably not going to be able to do that.
Yeah, no, just a quick one. I suppose in fairness to Klopp, he's entitled to have one poor season. He's come in there. He got him the long awaited league title back in 1990, which they were crying out for. He won the European Cup. Was it a couple of years ago? They won the League Cup and they won the FA Cup. They were beaten the European Championship final by
Real Madrid.
Real Madrid, and then he lost the league title by a point to Man City. And only for Man City had so much money in the last, Liverpool would have won 2 or 3 league titles. So in fairness to Klopp, he's entitled to one poor season, and now he'll have to probably bring in a few players. So I think he's entitled to that anyway. You can, what do you think?
Oh yeah, I think he's done a brilliant job, but I think I suppose every club needs a bit of money, but I think if there was one man who deserves a bit of money at a club that he's done so well for, it is Jurgen Klopp. I mean, there's talk there that Liverpool, there's a player there called Jude Bellingham. He's English international. He's a very good player at Borussia Dortmund. There's talk that he could cost 120 million or more even. Liverpool are really, really keen to sign him, but according to what we're all being told, is that he's too expensive for Liverpool and they're not going to bid for him.
No, what club is he coming from? Dortmund, is it?
Dortmund, yeah. He plays for Borussia Dortmund in Germany.
Sorry, no, I couldn't cross you. Isn't that Klopp's former club? So will he have a contact there? Is that why is he trying to declare himself if he want to come?
Well, that was the hope for Liverpool fans, but from what I gather is that Liverpool, they have a model there where the FSG, I think it's the name of them. They're like an American. John Henry is an American.
Yeah. I know that.
And they want to go down this sustainability route where they're not going to spend overpay for players.
Yeah.
Now in this market, Liverpool, Chelsea, Man United, City, you're always going to have a big money move for players, and obviously when a club like Liverpool come calling, every club will add on a couple of million.
Naturally enough.
So Liverpool are probably going to have to go down the line where they're probably going to get 3 or 4 players for 120 million, and not for one player on his own. So I think Klopp, but looks to it seems has accepted that, where they're going to have to do some good scouting, like what Brighton do. Brighton seems to be finding an awful lot of players. the scouts in Liverpool will probably have to try and get something like that as well. But to answer your question, they do need to freshen up that midfield. Any Liverpool fan would say that. Maybe something at the back as well. And the goalkeeper is probably one of the best in the world. But yeah, he is entitled to one bad season. They had a shaky 2020 or 21 after they won the league title. They were looking like they weren't going to make top four, and they eventually clinched third place on the last day. So he can come back, but he needs a few shillings, as I say, Paul, and whether or not the owners will be able to give it to him or not, all depends on the summer transfer list they're going to get.
Yeah. Now, before we go down to the relegation, we say Newcastle are probably the team of the season in terms of, but I think also Brighton.
Yeah.
In my book, them two teams have really maybe overachieved. I don't know if that's the right term or not. Brighton very unlucky to lose the FA Cup semi-final, went to penalties, and we all know the shootout is a shootout. They're in 8th place. They have a couple of games in hand. I can see them finishing maybe even 6th or 7th if Spurs fall away or something. But they'll definitely finish in the top 8, which is a great achievement for Brighton. The manager, of course, went to Chelsea, and of course, isn't that correct? Potter was the former manager of Brighton, and wasn't it?
Yeah, Potter was. Yeah, he was actually the manager at the start of the season. Yeah.
Yeah, but obviously behind the scenes, you mentioned about the scouting system. They're obviously a good picking young players. So it's just a quick word about Brighton and Hove Albion. Let's give them their proper title. In my book, they've been one of the teams of the season.
Oh, definitely. De Zerbi, who came in after Graham Potter, has done a fantastic job. And they're more attacking. They're scoring a lot more goals. Very, very unlucky to lose the cup semi-final. They went to penalties. Of course, Manchester United won in the end. 7-6 on penalties. So that's very, very harsh on them. But the way they play football, they absolutely gave Chelsea a lesson there last weekend when they went to Stamford Bridge 1-2-1. And could and should have won by more. Evan Ferguson, we've talked about him a few times.
He's an Irish player, but a quick word about him, yeah.
He's been fantastic for him. I think he really came into the team after Christmas. I think he was with him during the year, during the start of the year as well. But he got his break. I think against Arsenal, he even scored in that game as well. The last 4-2 though. And he's had a fantastic. I think he scored like 8 goals this season for him. That's since January. So he's a big prospect, and we're delighted that he's Irish because we need someone like that up front. But they've had McAllister as well, the Argentinian player who won the World Cup. They've just got a very, very good side.
And the question is, Noel, before we move on, sorry, Noel, will they be able to hold on to the best players? Because I assume the big boys will come cherry picking during the summer, or what do you think?
Well, there's talk that Evan Ferguson is going to sign a new contract with him, and I would suggest that he should, because I feel if Ferguson or any of their younger players now went to a big club like a Liverpool or United or a Chelsea or a City, they won't be guaranteed any game time. They won't be on the bench. They might be. They're going to be very hard to dislodge players at Manchester City or Arsenal or.
But the money, Noel, he'll have the big money. The paycheck will be big, though.
The paycheck could be big, but young players want to be playing. I know obviously the money would be great, but they can easily fall out of love with football if they're not playing.
That's a good comment.
If you go to a big club and you're already getting on a few games here, a few games there, and they say, "Oh, the manager, you are my plans," but you have to earn your plate, and obviously they will try and do that. But I've seen in the past some players start off very good, very young, go to a big club, it just doesn't work for them. Before you know it, then they're looking for another club, and they don't have the reputation they had before they went in there.
Yeah.
So I think in answer to the question, particularly about Evan Ferguson, young players at Brighton, I think it's good. I think another year, another 2 years at Brighton, and then move, because a lot of the players, I think Evan Ferguson's only 18 years of age. I mean, I think he should be at least playing for Brighton for another 2 years or more, because I just develop even more as a player. And Brighton will then even make more money on him when he's fully developed.
Yeah, now we'll now talk about the relegation, but just a quick word on your own club there, Chelsea, before we talk about the relegation. I assume they're safe anyway, as I mentioned.
Thanks, Paul. Yeah. Well, it wasn't so bad this week when Paul they weren't playing, so there was no frustration this weekend. Playing Brentford, I believe, on Wednesday. I mean, they're right playing for Pride now. I mean, they lost.
Yeah,
they had their chances in the European Cup against Real Madrid. The last 2 at home, could and should have scored at least twice before the halftime break. But it's 31 games played, only won 10, lost 12, drawn 9. Funny enough, our defence actually has held up all right this season. And compared for 11th place team, we've actually conceded less goals than Arsenal, which is bizarre. 33 goals conceded, but it's in attack.
Yeah,
we can't score goals.
Yeah,
we'll get to 40 points eventually, Paul. We'll eventually be safe, but
Yeah.
it's a season to forget at the moment.
Yeah. Now the bottom 5, the relegation. If you look at the table, in my opinion, is from it'll be 3 out of the bottom 5 from Leeds, Leicester, Everton, Nottingham Forest, and Southampton. Bournemouth are on 33. They're 4 points above that. But also, if you look at the form book, the last 5 teams, they're all L's, Reds. Yeah, but I'd say Bournemouth, Wolves, and West Ham are safe. And this is a complete collapse. But the amazing thing in the bottom 5, normally at this time, one team would be gone. But they're not. There's only a couple of points between them. Southampton was slightly up it. But there's only 5 points between them. So in my book, any of them, 3 of them 5 can go. So what do you think?
Yeah, it was a huge disappointment for Southampton at the weekend to be 3-1 up. Well, 2-0 up first, 3-1 up against away to Arsenal. I think they have a game against Bournemouth this Wednesday, I believe, at home. Southampton have to win that game. If Southampton win it, and the other sides don't in their next couple of games, it's game on again for Southampton if they can get that win against Bournemouth at home. Nottingham Forest, Paul, I'm really I don't mean to be gloom now here but that would have been a huge point away to Enfield if they could have got it. But the defending from your set pieces is, I don't know if you saw it, but your defending from set pieces was chronic in that game away to Liverpool and Enfield. And your running isn't the best. And the game now, funny enough, I think you were tough running. I forget all the fixtures now, but one of them is away to Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. Now, the way we're playing, I wouldn't be surprised if Nottingham Forest went and won that game.
You might give us the points, Noel. You might feel sorry for us. You might be on 40. You might give us the points.
I won't have to feel sorry for you to give me the points. We're stone cold useless at this time of year. But I think Everton, Paul, Leeds are the team that if I was right about one team, it's Leeds. They got hammered against Crystal Palace, I think 5-1. Liverpool beat them 6-1 last Monday, and they lost 2-1 away to Fulham. Their form is absolutely terrible. I think they've lost. Yeah, they've lost.
Our form is actually worse. We've lost 4 in a row.
I know, but Leeds are getting hammered.
Oh, yeah.
They're getting hammered, and a lot of them. They lost 6-1, as I said. They lost 5-1. Both games at home, and then they lost away to Fulham. They're just their defense is chronic. I see it there. They've conceded 6 leads. Have conceded 62 goals. Now I know other clubs. I think Bournemouth have conceded a lot of goals as well. I think Bournemouth conceded 63. To answer your question, though, I think Everton will just escape it. But I think Leeds and Nottingham Forest and Southampton, at this moment, the way the form is, now it could all change in 3 or 4 weeks. But I think Everton with Dyche might just sneak it to get out of there. Leicester are by no means safe yet. They're 11 points to Everton, who are in the relegation zone. But I feel Leicester have good enough players to stay up. I'm not sure about Everton and Leeds, and that's why I think it'd be a battle between Leeds, Everton, and Forest. Southampton, they have to win. I feel that draw they had on Friday. Well, I know it's against Arsenal. I know it's away from home.
But they were 3-1 up.
You should have won that game.
Yeah,
they were 3-1 up. They have to win on Wednesday night against Bournemouth at home to give them any chance. But they can't. 24 points, but they can't get cut adrift too much. They're still 4 points behind. Even to win, they're still a point behind Everton. So, I think Leeds. If it has to be bottom 3 to go down, at the moment, I would say Leeds, Forest, and Southampton.
Yeah, I would have to say, unfortunately, Forest are losing games, even though the last game against Liverpool, but still, it was poor defending. They should have got a draw out of it. They played well. They showed a bit of spirit because the games before that, they were some of the players were hanging their head, but the battle, they showed a bit of spirit. But ultimately, if you can't defend properly, you know what, you should be down in the relegation zone. And it's a harsh, but that's the reality of it. You've got to be able to do basic bread and butter defending. And particularly in soccer of all the field sports, because the scoring zone is so small, it's crucial.
Set pieces as well, Paul, is unforgivable. Yeah. Particularly the second goal. The second goal that Jota got, he had time to take the ball down, pick it up. He had 3 touches, I think, before he hit it, which is bizarre.